Winning couples, winning couples. I am super excited about having this conversation with all of you. Today, we are talking about the holidays and your marriage. My goal is to help you and your spouse win in your marriage, and that includes helping the two of you win as you navigate the holiday season. I wanted to make sure I got this to you before we get to Thanksgiving, so you got to watch this before Thursday. But if you happen to stumble upon this after Thanksgiving, no worries, because we're also talking about Christmas Eve. We're talking about Christmas Day. We're talking about New Year's Eve. We're talking about New Year's Day. And so this conversation can really help you in your marriage. Can I take applications in the month of March? Impact of the holiday season. Now, I believe all of us are intuitive enough or aware enough to know that clearly the holiday didn't do it to the marriage. It was already something going on, but the pressures of the holiday likely exposed how deep the issues really were. So while divorce may not be on the table for any of us, we have to understand that we too can be deeply impacted by the holiday season. And this is what I really want you to understand. Most of the time when couples come to see me for marriage support, it is not always for the big things. It's the little bitty things over time that have began to impact them. And if we're not careful, we'll look up 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line. And it's been all of these little things that began to put cracks in the foundation of our marriage. Have you ever wondered why somebody can be married 20 years, 30 years, and they start talking about divorce? It is because there have been little cracks. It is not often the big things, although that happens. A lot of times it's little bitty cracks over time that begin to impact the satisfaction and the quality of the marriage. And so wherever we can protect, we're going to protect. There's also research that says 88% of couples report that the holiday time is extremely stressful on their marriage. This is the time where we really should be celebrating one another and enjoying one another. But 88% of couples report that there's increased stressors on their marriage during the holiday season. The research also shows that most couples have the most arguments over finances in the months of November and January. Again, the holidays can create so much pressure. So my goal in this conversation is to give you 15 practical strategies that you and your spouse can use to navigate the holiday season. And this is how I suggest you use this video. You may not use all 15 strategies, but you and your spouse should watch the video. Then the two of you separately identify 3 strategies that you want to implement. Bring those strategies together and choose 3 to 5 that the two of you are going to commit to implementing this holiday season. You don't just stumble into a happy marriage. You have to create the space for a happy marriage. You have to put the work in for the happy marriage. And if you neglect it, I call it unintentional neglect. So many of us are putting our marriage on the back burner of our lives, and we're wondering why we aren't satisfied. You have to prioritize the happiness of your marriage. So with that in mind, let me give you these 15 strategies. Strategy number 1. The two of you want to have a pre-holiday team meeting. Now remember, we're helping Christian couples win in their marriage. You can't win if you're not on the same team. And so the two of you have to have a pre-holiday team meeting. What are you talking about in this team meeting? You're talking about what your expectations are of one another. You're talking about your priorities. You are talking about what makes you feel supported, what makes your spouse feel supported. You all are talking about all the things with the holidays. You may even need to talk about what happened last time, what happened 2 years ago, what happened 3 years ago. Even if you all can't fully agree on the circumstances of the situation, what can we do to prevent the two of us having an issue as we navigate the holiday season? Here's strategy number 2. You want to name your holiday values up front. What do I mean by that? You want to name what's really important to you in the holiday season. For some people, it might be, I just want to rest. If I was speaking for my husband, he would say, I want to have a time where I can sit on the couch and just thumb through the games, not have an assignment, just chill. That's a value for him. For somebody else, it might be family time. I really want us to do something as a family. It might be worship, making sure that we do some type of church activity, not church activity, but worship activity that's often taking place at church. Some type of fellowship and ministry together. Somebody else might say community service, us giving back. The two of you need to sit down and identify first of all, you need to know your own values. What are your holiday values? When you fast forward, when we are at January 20th, what do you want to say? Whew, this made me feel so good during the holidays. Name that up front so the two of you can honor one another's values. That was the second strategy. Here's your third strategy. Choose one thing. Just one thing you're going to be willing to let go of. Sometimes we have an expectation of perfection during the holiday season, but perfection kills peace. You want to let go of at least one thing. Maybe the two of you have made a commitment, I don't know, that you go to Sally's house the day before Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving, you hit 3 or 4 different houses. Then after Thanksgiving, y'all go Black Friday shopping. Then on Saturday, we have to go to the community outreach. And then you do the same thing during Christmas. What if you let go of one thing, one pressure point, one task? Just let go of one thing. You may be blown away how taking just one thing off of the list of to-dos can change your holiday experience. Strategy number 4, hear me, lean in. Lean in. Set boundaries with extended family. The two of you need to set boundaries with extended family together. How long are we staying at Grandma's house? How long are we going to be at the get-together? How far are we willing to travel? How much time do people are coming in town? Do we say, all right, y'all come on in, y'all going to get here Wednesday? Okay, well, by Saturday, we're probably going to be headed out, so we'd love for y'all to be here Wednesday through Friday. Set expectations, but that means the two of you have to be on one accord about those expectations, but set boundaries with extended family together. Be on one accord. You're saying, Robin, how do we get on one accord? Go back to those values. Go back to strategy number 2, where we talked about your values. Honor one another's values. Speak from a place of curiosity. Speak from a place of understanding so that you can begin to set boundaries appropriately. Strategy number 5, I want you to schedule intentional couple time together. I want you to have at least 20 minutes. I would prefer it to be every day, but if you can't do every day, every other day during the holiday season where you just unwind together. Maybe you play a couple of rounds of dominoes. Maybe you look at a quick show together. Maybe you go for a walk. Maybe y'all just have a conversation, but set aside specific couples time for just the two of you. We're going to come back to that as well because there's another strategy within that I want us to talk through. But then strategy number 6, I want you to create a holiday SOS signal. Hear me. You have to have a holiday SOS signal, and it needs to be one you both agree on and follow it all the way through. What do I mean follow it all the way through? If the SOS signal is, you say, it's normally a phrase, a gesture, something to let your spouse know, I'm drowning over here. I need you to jump in and help me, or I'm ready to go. So let's say the SOS signal is, hey, I got to run to the car. If I did that with my husband, even if he knew that that's the SOS signal, I would run to the car, be texting him, and he wouldn't even think to look at his phone. He wouldn't even think to do it. So I'd have to explain the SOS signal all the way through. When I say this, immediately or count to 5, then grab your phone and look at your phone because I'm texting you to let you know what's going on, right? Maybe your SOS signal is, hey, I got to go put something in the dryer. Maybe your SOS signal is, let me throw my cup away. Come up with something that you're not inviting everybody else in, but that SOS signal is saying either I'm ready to go, I am triggered, I am frustrated, something where the two of you can connect with one another, because in the hustle and the bustle and the loudness and all the things going on, y'all might miss one another. So that is a SOS signal. Here is strategy number 7. I want you to limit the number of commitments that you make. That might feel very much connected to me saying let go of one thing, but this is even further than that. I want you to limit the number of commitments that you make. Every yes comes at a cost. So I want y'all to do all the things. Sometimes when I'm dealing with couples, I have one that's very social and the other that's not social at all. And so it's not fair to either party. It's not fair to the person who's social to never get to do anything with her spouse or his spouse. But it's also not fair to the person who has to muster up the energy to feel like I always have to be on. So the two of you need to have a strategy. You have a planned meeting of what we're going to be doing. Let me go back to strategy number 1. You all are going to plan out what you're going to do, or what is going to happen during the holidays, but you have to stay flexible. Things pop up that you may not have even considered. So do not beat your spouse up if something else comes up that y'all didn't talk about at the meeting. That's why you need to have the consistent time together where you're decompressing throughout the holiday season. Remember those 20 minutes that you can talk about those additional things. Okay. So back to strategy number 7, limit the number of commitments. You want to make sure that you understand the price of a yes for both of you, even for the social butterfly. So I'm not telling you not to go out and do all the things. I just want you to limit it just a little bit. But this may not be one of the 3 to 5 strategies you choose. So let me go on to strategy number 8. I want you to create at least one new tradition for just the two of you. This is my favorite. I want you to create at least one new tradition that's just for the two of you, something that's unique to your marriage. Maybe it's something you do every Friday after Thanksgiving. Maybe it's something you do not on Christmas Eve, but the day before Christmas Eve. Maybe it's something you do the morning of the new year. I want you all to have a tradition. I'm not sure yet, but I think a new tradition my husband and I might be doing is some type of run on Thanksgiving Day. I think we did that last year. We might do it again this year. So that is one strategy. Create at least one new tradition just for the two of you. Not something that you got from your mom and them, just the two of you. Strategy number 9. This one might seem simple and you may not think it's as significant, but I'm telling you, many of us do it without even realizing it. Don't compare your holiday to others. Comparison really is the thief of joy. You're seeing also, I remember, can I tell y'all this? Let's lean in. I remember when my children were younger. Social media hasn't always been a thing. I'm old. Older. Social media hasn't always been a thing. And I remember at a point, I think my daughters might have been 3 and 5 then. So Riley wasn't even born yet. Maybe it was 3 or 5. Maybe it was when they were 5 and 7. I can't remember for sure. But I remember it became this thing where people would show, and I've done it too, show the morning of Christmas, right? And I remember seeing some children who had gifts like pouring, like so many, like a whole room filled with gifts. And I remember feeling like, wait a minute, I'm so glad my kids ain't seeing this. Now they see it. They old now. But I want you to be careful of comparing your holiday to somebody else. And this doesn't even mean that we have to dismiss what they're doing, because our habit would be they're posting this, but you don't know what else is going on in their life. While that is true, they could have a beautiful journey or experience all the way around, but that's not your story and your experience. Find what makes you feel special, but be careful about comparing your holiday to others. Here's strategy number 10. Communicate what you need clearly, not just sentimentally or not just emotionally. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Be careful of saying things like, you don't ever help me. Instead, communicate what you need clearly. On Thanksgiving morning, I really need you to keep the children occupied because I'm going to be so busy trying to get the dressing in the oven. Or, you know what? I'm super excited that your sister is coming in town. Listen, I just can't entertain on Christmas Eve, but I'd love for her to come over on Christmas Day. You want to find a way to communicate what you need clearly without making accusations. You always overlook. You never consider. You never do. Don't make an accusation. Communicate what you need clearly. Somebody needed that one. We just have 5 more strategies. Strategy number 11, I want you to identify emotional triggers ahead of time. You already know. every time you go back home, you know what ends up happening. You know, every time y'all go to your in-laws house, you know what ends up happening. You know, every time this person comes around, y'all, the two of you get into an argument. I want you to identify emotional triggers ahead of time. I want you to name also what might be a trigger between the two of you. If you've been together longer than 12 minutes, you have some idea of how we can get triggered in family environments. So I want y'all to name that ahead of time so that you can have a strategy for it. That's what you're going to talk about in that pre-holiday team meeting. Strategy number 12. Give your spouse the benefit of the doubt. Remember, folks are turning in divorce applications by March. You need to give your spouse the benefit of the doubt. Holidays bring about stress. So yes, your spouse is a little bit more snappy. Yes, your spouse is a little bit more withdrawn. That's why you're talking about triggers ahead of time. That's why you're having the family meeting. That's why you're having 20 minutes of time together throughout the holiday, because you want to make sure that you're giving your spouse the benefit of the doubt. Choose grace. Choose grace. Before you get all worked up, just some of the things, pick your battles. Sis, pick your battles. Bro, just let it go. During the holiday, I want you to give your spouse the benefit of the doubt. Okay, I said I gave you the wrong number. We have 15, so we have 3 more strategies. Here's strategy number 13. If you are hosting, hear me. If the two of you are hosting, pick this strategy. Remember I told you I want you to pick 3 or 5? If you're hosting, this is one of your 3 or 5. You want to assign roles ahead of time. If y'all are hosting, assign roles ahead of time. Make sure if you are the person who is cooking, ask your spouse, can you handle making sure the house is in line? And if you are a person who is particular about that, you can say, hey, babe, do you want to cook and I'll take care of the house? Or, babe, you know how I am. You know, I feel so weird when the pillows aren't fluffed properly. So I'll cook, but can you please make sure you're fluffing the pillows? I'm being light of this, but you want to assign roles ahead of time. Who is going to handle what? Who is going to take care of what? Who's going to take the initiative of what? You want to assign the roles, especially if you have a large family and a lot of people are coming over. You don't want to be thrown off or resentful. We're trying to minimize resentment. Strategy number 14. Have a conflict pause plan. This goes 2 ways. Number 1, some of you are going into the holidays with a lot of tension already. What if you just both choose to put it on pause just for a little bit? I have this treasure chest right here. What if you all just wrote down what is weighing you down? Write it down and just say, we're going to just put it on pause. We're not going to gaslight each other and act like there is no tension, but let's just get through Thanksgiving, or let's just get through Christmas, or let's just get through the New Year's Eve. Won't you put the conflict just on pause if you can, for a moment, but also in the middle of the holiday season, if something comes up that's deeply triggering, instead of trying to have that conversation in front of your mother, your grandfather, your cousin, and your uncle, what if you just put it on pause? What if the two of you say, we're going to just put this on pause? And y'all already know, because remember, you have your SOS strategy already in play. This is an additional strategy. You're going to just say, we good. We're good. And you all can talk about it in your 20-minute recouping strategy that we talked about earlier. But in all seriousness, have a conflict pause plan, because you don't want to talk about things when tempers are high anyway. And this will help bring down tension and help regulate your emotions so that you all can continue to enjoy the holiday. Remember, we're not gaslighting. We're not acting like there's no issue. We're just managing the issue well. And then strategy number 15. I know y'all didn't think we were going to get through 15 strategies and we were not going to talk about the couples playbook. I want the two of you to create your marriage strategy. This is the time to do it. Whether it is during the Thanksgiving break, whether it's between the Thanksgiving and Christmas break, whether it's during Christmas, you want to go ahead and go to IBelieveInMarriage.com/playbook and invest in the couples playbook so that you can create your strategy for 2026. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. You're going to talk about all the things that are important important to you and your spouse. Don't put this on hold. This needs to be one of the 3 or 5. You want to sit down and create your strategy and your plan for the new year and beyond. All right, y'all, we got through it. Those are the 15 strategies that I want you all to implement. Not all 15. I want you to listen to this video, choose 3 to 5, and the 2 of you agree on which ones you're going to make sure you practice this year. We are going to win in our marriage, and we're going to even win during the holiday season. That's it, y'all. I'll see you next time. One of the comments I hear from couples all the time is, Robin, my spouse and I are just not on the same page. But here's the truth that I have to tell them, and I want to tell you, you don't just stumble onto the same page. You have to be intentional, and that's why I created the Couples Playbook. This newly revised edition walks you and your spouse step by step through the conversations, the plans, and the decisions that help you once and for all get on the same page and win together. Not just in one area of your marriage, but in every area. So if you're ready for clarity, unity, and a real plan you both can follow, this is your moment. Grab the Couples Playbook.